So you're desperately trying to lose what you call stubborn belly fat. You've tried everything. You eat healthy, you exercise, nothing works. The stubborn belly fat will not burn off. Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm talking about stubborn belly fat. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's going wrong and what you need to do to finally burn off that fat. First of all, I need you to be brutally honest with yourself. The main reason people fail is because they're basically in denial. So if you can be honest with yourself, then this is the first major step forward towards losing fat. Now, before you define your belly fat as stubborn, I want you to take a look at these pictures and decide where you fit among them. None of these bodies that you're seeing here are at the stage where their fat can be defined as stubborn. If you find that your current body fat level fits somewhere on here, then you don't have stubborn belly fat, at least not yet. Yes, your belly fat might take a little longer to burn off because for the majority of us, we do accumulate more fat in our stomach area. However, with the right nutritional approach and sticking with it long enough, you can definitely get your body fat level way down. Now, before you say anything, I do realize that hormones can be an issue for many women, especially coming into menopause. During this time, women are more prone to increased body fat in this area due to the impact of estrogen. This is valid and I understand there is no avoiding this. However, the lifestyle you lead before you actually get to this point in life, such as your physical activity and body composition, can impact how your body responds to this change. Also, the following 3 steps I'm about to give you will help you if you're at this stage as well. So I'm confident that for the majority of you watching this, your belly fat isn't as stubborn as you think it is, and with a few tweaks to your approach, you can start seeing it burning off. Now, your approach to losing body fat will differ slightly depending on what look you want to achieve and what body fat level you want to get down to. For example, achieving the physique on the right will require a lot more work and time, both nutritionally and physically, than achieving the physique on the left. To get to this level, it requires a high level of commitment, both in nutrition and training. The leaner and more toned you want to be, the more you have to switch your mindset. So the 3 steps I'm about to go through now are going to help you figure out what you need to change to get to where you want to be. Step 1 is a calorie deficit. Yes, this is the only way your body will burn fat. You must be consuming less calories than you burn daily for your body to lose fat. And don't try and outtrain a bad diet. By this I mean don't eat junk food excessively for a day and then try and exercise it off because you felt bad for eating it. This just won't work. You won't even do it for a day, let alone consistently. If you're in this habit, it's a terrible habit to be in, and please try and change that. You need to approach a calorie deficit in a healthy way. A dangerous approach is by crash dieting. Sipping coffee, drinking green juice, and getting by on minimal calories is just an example of crash dieting and a really unhealthy approach to fat loss. This is not only absolutely miserable, but it is dangerous to your long-term health. A healthy approach to a caloric deficit is to reduce your daily caloric intake by 200 to 500 calories per day. No more. This reduction should be subtracted from your maintenance calorie amount. To work this out, there are many online TDEE calculators, total daily energy expenditure. So a healthy way to approach a caloric deficit and to be successful in it is to combine the following. Eating clean, healthy foods because they're generally lower in calories, which will mean you can eat more volume without blowing out your caloric deficit. Plus, it's healthier for your body overall. Number 2 is portion control. I know from my own experience that it is very easy to gradually increase your portion size over time. And this is one of the biggest problems with people. Yes, you might be eating healthy, but if you're eating such a large volume of food, then you're still going to gain weight. Whether it's healthy food or whether it's junk food, if you're going above your daily caloric requirement, you will gain fat. And number 3 is consistency. If you can implement the first 2 and combine that with consistency, you will be successful. Now, eating clean for the first 2 weeks is not consistent. Eating clean for 5 months and then stopping is not consistent. Consistency means a lifetime change. It's a lifestyle change. Okay, now step 2 in losing that belly fat, or the stubborn belly fat that you might call it, is alcohol consumption. I can already feel many of you not liking this step, and I get it. If you're a drinker, which I used to be, I loved beer, you'll already be trying to justify your drinking habits. I'm definitely not telling you you need to stop drinking. That's totally up to you if and when you decide you need to cut back or quit drinking entirely. But the truth is, alcohol consumption contributes significantly to weight gain in more ways than one, and here's why. First of all, alcoholic drinks are very high in calories. A glass of wine has about 120 calories. A full bottle of wine has around 600 calories. I know also from my own experience, you can easily go through a bottle of wine a night when you're with friends or you're socializing or you're just having a good time. I get it. So if your daily caloric requirement to be in a deficit is 1600 calories, calories, and 600 of those calories are being used on a bottle of wine, that leaves you 1,000 calories to get by with food for the day. That's really not much calories at all. However, this is just part of the issue. When we drink alcohol, our body changes the way it processes fat. Because alcohol is a poison that shouldn't be consumed, our liver prioritizes burning the calories consumed from alcohol as opposed to burning fat for energy. So what you're doing is you're significantly slowing down your body's natural process of burning fat, because it's trying to process and rid your body of the poison that you're putting into it. It sounds brutal, but that is the truth. I do get that alcohol is a big part of many cultures, and there is that big social aspect to it. I have my own thoughts on alcohol, and I'm totally okay with yours. The important thing here is that you figure out where you fit into this and whether your alcohol consumption is contributing to your inability to lose fat. It's also important to consider your goals. Are you wanting just a nice flat stomach, or are you looking for that super toned, super shredded six-pack look? Because whichever one that is, the approach will be different. If the latter is what you're after, that shredded six-pack look, then you will definitely need to take a serious look at your alcohol consumption and likely cut it back to pretty much nothing. So guys, when alcoholic drinks have between 120 and 250 calories, you work it out. How many drinks are you having each day or week? Add that up and you'll soon see if it's contributing to your inability to lose fat. Now, step number 3, the last step, is training. Although training is very important, in my opinion, it is the least important steps of the 3. As I said earlier, never try to out-train a poor diet. It's important that nutrition remains your number one focus. This is key when it comes to losing fat. But to really maximize your results and possibly get to your goal faster, training is very important, not to mention the health aspects of training in general. Ask yourself, how much training do you actually do on a daily or weekly basis? Do you do any training at all? Most people will go straight to cardio when they want to burn fat. Running on the treadmill for 30 minutes, fast walking for an hour. Yes guys, exercise is good and cardio is great, especially for your heart health. Exercise should not be seen as your number one way to burn calories. The calories you consume need to be your main focus, and then combine the right training with this on a regular basis to maximize your results. Now, the types of training you actually do is very important when it comes to achieving the specific goal you want to achieve. Maybe it's time you took a look at the training you're doing, because there could be some adjustments that are needed in order for you to actually reach your goals. Now, I highly recommend implementing some form of weight training on a regular basis, and here's why. Weight training will allow you to build muscle. Now, before you assume I'm talking about big bulky muscle, which I'm not, hear me out. By having more muscle mass and lowering your body fat percentage, your body will burn more calories at rest. To me, that's amazing. If I was hearing this information, I would be straight out there lifting weights if I knew that I could burn more calories just by building a bit of muscle, and then when I'm resting, my body is naturally burning more calories. I've increased my metabolism. Now, ladies, weight training will not make you bulky. I know many of you watching this will be worried about that, and I understand it, because if you don't understand how lifting weights works, yeah, I can see why you would naturally think this. However, I can assure you, you will not get big bulky muscles because you started lifting dumbbells or you started squatting with a barbell. I can confidently say that as long as you are in a caloric deficit and consuming high quality foods, you will not get bulky. The bulky look I think you're referring to is usually because of excess calorie consumption, and people do this because when you start working out more and you've got more energy being burned, you naturally become hungrier. So you go into a workout, you lift some weights, you're tired, you come home, you sit on the couch and you feel like you deserve more food. So you will eat more food, you eat more volume, but in actual fact you haven't actually burned as many calories as you think you have. Therefore, those extra calories that you've just consumed will be stored as fat. However, you're still doing the weights and building that muscle. That is where that bulky look comes from. Now, the last thing I will say when it comes to weight training and nutrition is that you really need to make sure that you're focusing on the macronutrients you're getting, which is carbs, fats, and protein. Now, when you're lifting weights and you're trying to build a bit of muscle, you do need to make sure that you've got adequate protein in your diet. Now, this is especially important when you're in a caloric deficit because you've already cut your calories back. So if you're not getting enough protein in your diet, which is the macronutrient that is helping your muscles grow, strengthen, and repair, then you will experience muscle breakdown. For those of you approaching menopause or going through menopause, it's extra important that you build muscle and maintain the muscle, because from your mid-30s, we lose between 3 and 8% of our muscle mass each decade, and after 60, it increases even more. So guys, when it comes to losing stubborn belly fat or fat in general, it's so important that you are honest with yourself. You might not like what your reality is, but this is the biggest step in establishing your starting point and the steps you need to take to get to where you want to be. As said in the beginning, the belly fat that you're referring to as stubborn likely isn't as stubborn as you think it is, and it simply is just a matter of making the necessary adjustments to boost you on your journey. I know it's not easy, especially when we have so much temptation out there. There is a level of sacrifice that you will need to make to get to where you want to be. However, the sacrifice you have to make today likely won't feel like a sacrifice in 2 months once you're fitter, you're healthier, and you're feeling much better. Be honest with yourself, implement these steps, stay consistent, and you will get there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this beneficial. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.